Welcome back to the family meeting. So today is we're talking about retirement income, okay? So welcome back to all of my cousins, aunties, uncles, family. As I promised, we're being consistent. We're doing family meetings once a week. So today we're going to be talking about retirement income, right? A lot of us are trying to figure out, can we retire in the next 10 to 15 years? Maybe we're a couple months away from retirement, or maybe we're like 30 years from retirement. We're going to talk about the things that you need to know about retirement, the things you should be planning for, and the proper ways to make sure you never run out of money in retirement, in your golden years, right? You did all the hard work. Now it's time to enjoy it. So I can't wait to get started. I hope you guys came ready. We're going to do some regular housekeeping family meeting rules, and then we're going to jump right into it, okay? So let's get to it. So, as usual, family meeting rules, right? The sole purpose of the family meeting is for this to be a safe space to learn, share, and empower one another around all things that involve financial literacy. Okay. There are no dumb questions. Don't be afraid to speak up. I want you to share. I want you to ask. I want you to learn. But more importantly, I want you to take action once you get the information. Okay. So if you're looking for some get rich quick plan idea, scheme, or anything that sounds like that, that looks like that, this is not the place for it. Okay. Bye bye. Have a good day. Because we're going to talk about real practical things. You're going to learn the fundamentals. You're going to learn how to make money for the rest of your life. We're talking about in multiple different ways. If you go through all the lessons, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm trying to teach you how to fish. I don't want to just give you the fish. Okay. That's the premise and the foundation of why we're doing this. Make sure you come to all the meetings with a pen, paper, and ready to take notes because this is a learning experience. Don't be shy to ask questions. You can interrupt me at any time. Don't worry about it. I won't lose my spot. And if you're not on the live Zoom calls with us, please feel free to drop a message in the comments. I do reply. I will reply. And if you have a sort of in-depth kind of question, I'll make sure we can schedule a call and I can get to you to answer whatever it is that you're trying to kind of navigate and figure out. Okay. Family meeting, as usual, is about 60 minutes. All are welcome. Share this with your family and friends, with anyone that you think should know about financial literacy, anyone that is looking to make money, anyone that's looking to share wealth and leave a legacy to other people. This is for everyone, okay? Everyone's at different stages. Every lesson may not be where you're at, but hopefully one day you'll use it when you do get there, okay? I'm not selling you anything. This is not some type of sales course at the end. It's not a sales pitch. The only thing that I'm asking that I'm doing is for our community to teach our people, our kids, our loved ones about how to make money, how to manage money, and how to never run out of money, right? So financial literacy is extremely important, and we want to make sure we cover all the bases. So the only thing that I ask for anyone who watches this video on YouTube or attends the Zoom meetings is that you share this right now with three other people, right? I don't care if they're your coworkers, if it's your mom, if it's your uncle, if it's your grandmother, it's your cousin, it's your baby sister, whoever it is. Share it with three people. I know for a fact that this information is useful and helpful no matter where they're at in life. And one of the videos will definitely add one more nugget or advantage or edge in their life. Okay. So, just a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I am a financial advisor, but this is not financial advice. I'm giving you information for educational purposes only. I'm hoping that you will learn about money, right? This purpose is to teach you about the things that you may not already know. And if you do know them, to go a little bit deeper, to ask the right questions, to get a full understanding of everything that you need to know to properly protect your money, to properly grow your money. This is for the purpose of you learning, and I'm not selling you anything, and I'm not trying to give you advice on anything in particular. It's general information that I'm hoping you can use to have a further conversation. So, who am I, right? My name is Andre Green, also known as Andre Talks Green. I'm an investor, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I'm a mentor, I'm an author, and I'm a dad. Okay. I started working in real estate in 2005, so I'm in over 20 years at this point. I've had almost every job in real estate except for about three. Okay. I've done rentals. I've been a listing agent. I've been a buyer's agent, a mortgage loan officer, a loan underwriter, a commercial property manager, a residential property manager, asset manager. I've worked for developers. I've bought buildings. I've sold buildings. I have rentals. Still a licensed New York real estate broker, and probably many more things I forgot to mention right now. So I have a lot of experience. I am an expert when it comes to investing in real estate. I am also the founder and principal of Seneca Village Insurance, a licensed insurance brokerage in 14 states and counting. I cover life insurance, or we cover life insurance, business insurance, general liability, construction, restaurant, development, cyber, and many other things. So if you need any insurance services, we can absolutely help you. As I mentioned before, I am a financial advisor. I specialize in income strategies for retirees and high income earners, right? So if you're trying to figure out how to make money for the rest of your life, which is what we're talking about today, I'm the man to come to help you do that. So I love it. I love it so much, right? I've raised over $350,000 in business credit across several of my business corporations over my lifetime. What does that mean to you? I understand how business credit works. I know that they're constantly throwing business credit at you. Everyone's telling you to take free money, but you need to know the right questions to ask and the right things to do with the money once you do have the money. Okay? So, yes, I'm versed in that as well. I started investing personally back in 2017. I built up a seven-figure portfolio in under 36 months, or in under 3 years. Okay. All of which were done out of state. Okay. I'm born and raised in New York City. Queens get the money. But I figured out that New York was a little bit too expensive for me. I didn't like the laws here. So I found a place where it worked for me. And that's where I invested, and I built up my portfolio quite quickly and quite well. Okay. I am an author of The Long Distance Millionaire. That's a book that I wrote that is available if you want to look for it. It's on Amazon, also on longdistancemillionaire.com. It's a step-by-step process that teaches you how to be a real estate investor and how to buy property for the long haul to make cash flow. There also, if you want, comes with a workbook that gives you all the letters and documents that I use in my business today, that I send to clients to make sure that I send to tenants to make sure that we're managing our properties properly and we're cash flowing as much as possible. Okay, a little bit about me. So, retirement income is what we're talking about today. So the question is, how much do I need to retire? People normally work for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and they never really know how much they actually. Oh no. What does this mean? No, no, no. Wow. Okay. So you guys might have been able to hear me, but you did not see my screen. So let me go back to the beginning real quick. Okay. So these are just the family meeting rules as I was going over with you guys. The sole purpose of the family meeting is to be a safe space to learn and to grow together. Okay. You probably heard everything I was saying, but you could not see the screen. So, as I said before, this disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm doing this for the educational purposes only, for you to learn about how to make money, how to invest money, how to grow money, and how to ask the right questions to the right people at the right time. Okay. So I am a financial advisor. If I'm not giving any specific information, if you do want more information, you feel free to book a call with me. Go to andretalksgreen.com to book that call. But this is just for the purpose of learning and growing. I went through my bio of who I am. Here's a quick screenshot of it. I'm an investor, a serial entrepreneur, a mentor, an author, and a dad. I've been in the business since 2005, so I've been in real estate for over 20 years. And here's a quick snapshot of what I've done so far. So, like I said, we're talking about retirement income today. All right, let's get it going again. So, how much do I need to retire? People normally work for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and never really know what they need to retire comfortably, right? It's one thing to retire, it's a whole different conversation to retire with money, to be paying your bills and not having to worry about where the next check is coming from. You want to be able to buy your groceries, you want to pay your rent, pay your mortgage, you want to go on vacation, you want to give your grandkids money, you want to invest, you want to enjoy your hobbies and do whatever it is that you want to do because you earned it, right? So that's what we're really going to be digging into and talking about today. Now, with all of the advancements in modern science, people are living a lot longer than before in all of human history. Okay? So this creates an unusual problem for people today that didn't exist before. Okay? Many people are not prepared when they reach retirement age, one, and then two, you're living a lot longer than everyone previously lived before. So what are you supposed to do if you retire at 65-ish, right? Some people a little bit earlier, some people a little bit later because they have to, because they haven't built up enough money in their retirement accounts. So a lot of people, especially during 2020 and when the pandemic happened, a lot of people lost 40% of their portfolio, what felt like overnight, because their money is in the market, right? Yes, it's retirement. Yes, it's supposed to be safe. It's in your 401k, but these fund managers are managing money inside of the rules of inside of the stock market. So when the market takes a dip, your retirement takes a dip. The problem is, what if you don't have the time for the recovery? If you are retiring in a couple of different years, 2008 was another one. 2008, the market took a dip. Did you have the 4 to 5 years to wait for recovery if you had to retire in 2008? In 2020, market took another dip. Did you have the next year or two to wait for the market to recover to be able to recoup the money that you lost? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. A lot of retirees or people who thought they were going to be retirees had to go and find another job after they retired. I feel for you guys, and I'm sorry that you had to go through this. And I hope that I'm never talking to anyone that had to experience that I helped retire, because that is not where you want to be. You want to be in a position that you have multiple income strategies working for you when you're going into retirement. Okay. So if you got caught in one of those two places in the past 20 to 30 years, you know that retirement based on your plan doesn't always work how you thought it was going to work. Okay. So, how much does it cost to live as a retiree in the United States as of 2025? These numbers are from last year because we're just brand new in 2026. So, we're using numbers from last year. Estimated costs $60,000 to $72,000 a year. Okay. This will include housing, food, transportation, and healthcare. The bulk of this expense is going to be healthcare for a lot of retirees. Okay. So $60,000 a year breaks down to about $5,000 a month. 72,000 is about $6,000 a month. So you need your portfolio to be spinning off cash for you from $5,000 to $6,000 a month, according to the demographics, to live comfortably. Okay. So the question is that I want to ask you guys today is, what do you think the magic number is for retirement savings? Okay, I want you guys to think about that, and that's the question I want you to ask yourself. Because if people need 60 to $72,000 a year to live comfortably, what's the magic number that's going to give you that type of return or that type of income in your golden years? So, what is the total amount of savings that you should have towards your when you hit retirement? Okay, when you hit retirement age. Now, I like to tell all of my clients and anyone that I'm sitting with is that retirement starts at the age that you want it to. The government will tell you that you have to start taking required minimum distribution and Social Security at another age. That doesn't have to be the same age. You do not have to wait until you're 65 or 67 or 69 or 70 to retire. If your income passively is at a place where you can sustain all of your bills and you're going to work and the income doesn't really affect what you're doing, you're in a position to start looking at retirement much earlier than most. Now, I want to I want you to keep in mind that your health insurance is normally the biggest part of your bill. So if you're thinking about retirement, because financially you can afford it based on your regular bills, you then need to do an analysis on what does your health insurance look like. Because if your health insurance is at a number that you can afford with your income streams coming in during retirement, then you can retire earlier than most. If that is not the case, you need to start figuring out, well, how do I make more income from my retirement money to be able to afford the health insurance? Because that is normally everyone's biggest bill. Okay. So I'm gonna ask the question one more time. What do you think the number is for retirement savings that you need to get to be able to comfortably withdraw the money and live a good life in your golden years? That's the money you're going to take to buy groceries. You're going to give to the grandkids for a little spending money every time you see them. That's the money you're sending in the Christmas cards for the holidays. That's what you're using to plan your vacations, right? How much money do you think you need to accumulate in total so that you can live comfortably for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years after you've retired? Okay. So a poll that was done in 2025 shows that most people think it will be about 1,260,000 needs to be accumulated in their retirement savings to retire comfortably in the United States. And this anticipates that the retiree will be using that money for approximately 14 years. Now, keep in mind, this is estimating that the retiree is retiring at age 65. Okay. So if you're retiring at 60, 65, they're keeping in mind that these numbers will run you for about another additional 14 years for you to live on comfortably after you've retired. Okay. So 1.2, we're going to round down for this conversation. 1.2 million is what people need to have in their retirement savings account, which is across multiple accounts, which we're going to touch on in a second, what accounts they are. But in totality, excuse me one second here, guys. Okay. So there we go. So in totality, you need $1.26 million to retire. Okay. So let's break down the reality of what it really looks like. Okay. The average retirement amount includes the average. So you see a breakdown here of this chart. Okay. We have age group, we have average amount, and then we have median amount. I'm going to give you a definition for each of the columns that classify average amount and median amount. All right. So average retirement or average retirement amount includes extremely high net worth and extremely low savings, which means you're taking everybody who's in the retirement age group into consideration. That's Warren Buffett down to the person that barely saved anything for their retirement their entire life, and now they're at retirement age. Okay. So the average amount of money is going to average out everyone in all of these categories, right? So from 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, 65 to 74, and then 75 years and older. The average age of retirement is between 65 and 74, okay? Now, the median retirement amount shows the middle range that most retirees have towards savings. So the median is a column that you really want to look at because the average takes in the super high end and then the super low end. The median takes in the bulk of the most amount of people that have retirement accounts and what's in those accounts, and then they give you the average number between the bulk of what's there. Okay, so let's keep this in mind now. If the average person, based on we're gonna look at 65-year-olds right now, okay? If the average person between the age of 65 and 74, average shows you $609,000 in savings, which is not for everyone. But the median, which is the bulk of the people that are actually in that age group, they only have $200,000 in savings. That's kind of scary. I'm concerned just looking at these numbers. So if the average is 600,000 and the median is 400,000, we have a big problem because most people, as I just showed you guys on the slide before, think that the average number that they need is 1.2 million. But most of the people are at 200,000. So what are they going to do if this is their reality? So you're going to realize that a lot of people are not planning properly for the future. They're not putting enough money into their 401k at all, right? They're not putting enough money into their HSA. They're not putting enough money into their IRA or their Roth or their life insurance. They're not putting enough money away to have multiple places to pull money from when they need to access it. Okay? That is really, really important for everybody to understand. You have to save the money during your good youthful working years so that you have it later. You're like a squirrel. You're trying to collect it, and you're trying to bury it so that you come back and use it a little bit later on down the road. Now, if you're in the group that is 55 and up and you haven't put away what you feel like is enough, now is the time to really start looking at it because you have approximately 10 to 15 years before you get to the time when you really need to retire before you do. So you want to make sure that you're beefing up your contributions to all of your retirement accounts in multiple places. You don't have to only do it into your 401k, which we're going to talk about in a second. What are the other places you can put some of this money? But as we can see, we got a huge gap now, right, in between where people want to be and where people actually are. Okay. Oops, wrong way. Okay. So it's time to take action. Don't wait. Do not wait. Today is the day. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start making plans today. Time is your ally and also your enemy. The younger you are, the more time you have to put small amounts into your retirement accounts to then build up a larger nest egg. The older you are, is the less time you have and the less runway you have to get to that magic number. So please keep in mind, you want to use time in the best way possible. The more of it that you have, the more you can save. So do not wait. You want to take action right away. Okay. You should be doing the following things to increase your ability and opportunity, no matter what your age range is, to increase the amount of money you have going into retirement accounts. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about the types of retirement accounts, okay? It's not only your 401k, okay? It's not only your IRA. There are multiple retirement accounts depending on your personal situation that you should be using to put money away for the future, because when you set it up into these accounts properly, you will then have the ability to leverage these accounts and have them as supplemental income. If you got multiple accounts giving you supplemental income, you'll be in great shape, right? Because the name of the game is cash flow. You want to have as much cash flow per month as possible. This conversation today does not take into Social Security. I'm hoping that you've been contributing to Social Security for many, many years. That way you've maxed out the amount that you have. We're not going to touch on Social Security today, but we're going to assume that you are receiving some Social Security because that helps to add to the bottom line number. We're just talking about what you could have put away for yourself, okay? So some of the retirement accounts that are available to you that you should be using and utilizing. We're going to talk about, so here we go, 401ks, right? And Roth 401ks, 403bs, and 457bs. These are all the same type of account. The classifications will change depending on the type of job you have and the type of election. So 401k and Roth 401k are for regular employees. 403bs or 457, we're talking about teachers, we're talking about police department, we're talking about firefighters. Some of those plans are set up a little bit differently, but they're all in the same bucket of retirement accounts, okay? So you should contribute as much as you can, one, and two, if your job or the company you work for is matching, you should do the max as the contribution. What does that mean? If your job is telling you that they'll match you 3% or up to 3%, that means if you put in 3% of your salary, the job's going to put in 3% of your salary as well to match you. That is free money. The match is free money. So you want to max it out. If your job's telling you we'll do up to 3%, you don't want to do 1% because they're only going to match 1%. So you want to put in whatever the match amount is. I know it may be a little difficult, but I promise you, in the long run, it will be worth it. We've talked about taxes in a different video as to what your elections need to be to make sure you're bringing home as much money as possible. So if you haven't seen that video, go and watch that video. We'll put the link somewhere in here to go watch the video about taxes, okay? Because we want to make sure that you're maximizing your taxable amount and your deductions when it comes to your taxes. So 401k, Roth 401k, which is the tax free, well, it's tax on the front end. 401k, you get tax, it's tax deferred, you get tax on the back. Roth 401ks, you pay tax in the beginning and the money grows tax free on the back end, which is the preferable one of the two, depending on your situation. 403b, tax deferred. 457b, also tax deferred. Okay, we're talking about pensions, right? Pensions and deferred benefit plans. Now, the strategy here is you want to maximize the amount and the time that is being contributed into those plans based on the calculation that they use for retirement. Some jobs, and I think there are most jobs at this point that offer a pension, they'll use your last 3 years of your income, of your gross salary to determine what your pension amount will be in retirement. So I have a lot of police officer friends and government friends, and they'll tell me that they'll do as much overtime as possible in their last 3 years to kind of beef up and bump up those numbers so that when HR and retirement agency looks at their numbers, they're using an average of the most amount of time that they worked in the past 3 years to help to hopefully get that money in retirement. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you beef up. If you have a pension plan or defined benefit plan that works like that, you want to make sure you get as much time in those last couple of years, because that's the number they're going to be using towards your permanent pension number once you do retire. Okay. So talking to a couple of my self-employed people, you're going to be looking at things like a simple or a SEP IRA or a self-directed IRA. All this means for you is that you're taking money from your business and putting it into a qualified plan. Okay. So you want to use the income that you're making in your business and set it aside for your retirement. This is extremely important. A lot of my clients, a lot of people that I talk to who are business owners are tunnel visioned. They only think about what they need to do right now and what they need to do for the month or for this week or for payroll. You guys are in a very unique situation. You have to prepare for the future in the sense that you're not going to be working forever. If you're lucky and you set up your business properly where you can scale it and it's not dependent upon you, you can then go ahead and maybe sell your business, have a great windfall, and then and put that money into some retirement vehicles that will spit off cash flow for you every single month when you're retired. But most small business owners do not do that. They're working every single day in their business. They're worrying about what's going on this month. They're worrying about what's going on this week, and they never look down the road. You have to plan for the future, especially if you're running your own business. So please, please, please put some money aside in some qualified accounts that you can access, that you can grow while you're working so that you don't have to do that job until you're dead. Like, you don't want to go to work and die. You want to work, build a business, and then retire and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's the reason why you built the business, right? So keep in mind, please, 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 my business owners, you got to start setting money aside. If you need help, reach out to me. The team is here to support you guys, okay? So we're talking about IRAs and Roth IRAs. Now, I tell all of my clients to get as much money as possible into your Roth IRA. And the reason why I suggest that is because Roth IRAs grow tax-free. Now, some people do not qualify based on income, right? If you make too much money, you can't necessarily put money into a Roth IRA. There is something called a backdoor Roth, which is a strategy to move money from an IRA account into a Roth IRA. If you're in that boat where you're making over $150,000 a year, you're going to fall into that category where you can't directly contribute to a Roth IRA. If that's you, reach out to me, okay? Use the link in the description, use the link in the chat. Reach out to me because your income disqualifies you from a Roth, but you can still contribute to a regular IRA. And then we can show you the strategies that we use with our clients who are high income earners to convert it into a Roth so that it's or another tax-free vehicle that grows tax-free, okay? But if you're under the limits, you're going to be putting money hopefully first into a Roth IRA. If you don't have that, if that's not offered at your job, no problem. You can still open an independent Roth on your own. If you're working at a job and they offer you an IRA, put money into your IRA. So you have two places you can be putting money right now: a Roth or an IRA, 401k, 403b, 457b, a pension or a defined benefit plan. There's multiple places you should be putting your money so that you're building up that retirement nest egg, okay? So another account that you can use for retirement that many people don't talk about is an HSA, health savings account, okay? Now, this account is very, very special because it's known as what's called a triple tax advantage account. Now, I'm not going to go too deep on this right now, but if you have questions about how you should be properly using your HSA, book a call, or you could probably book a call. That's the easiest way because I'm going to give you the information directly. I do have a checklist that I do send out to clients. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email or send me a DM. I can send you the actual list or the checklist of what things you should know about HSAs because it's very helpful for you to learn about them and use them effectively for not only your health plan right now, but also for your retirement, okay? So HSAs are one of those magic secrets that everyone's not telling you about, but it can be very, very useful in your retirement. Another thing to look at is a taxable brokerage account. Now, this does not jump out at most people as a place that is synonymous with retirement. Here's the reason why. If you have a brokerage account and you've built up quite a bit of equity in the stocks you bought and your index funds and your ETFs, you can use your brokerage account to supplement your income. That is the purpose of all of these retirement accounts. All of them are supposed to give you a little bit to make you whole. You won't get your same paycheck from every single one. But if all of them are paying you back, then you have a full amount, sometimes more than what you were making at the job in retirement. I've had clients that retired early and made more money monthly in retirement than they were making during their working years. That's a great place to be. I hope you get there, okay? And if you're working with a proper advisor, you should be there. And if you're not, reach out to me. We can talk about it. So taxable brokerage accounts utilize what's called an evergreen strategy to spend from interest from your account. If you don't know what that means, book a call. I can explain it to you in detail. But the premise of it is that if you've accumulated enough assets in equities, you can live off just the interest. So all you're taking every month is whatever the dividends are on a monthly or quarterly basis from your portfolio, and you're using that to supplement your income. If you're only removing the interest, your principal still remains and you can still grow the money to have more money next month, next quarter, next year, okay? So that's another way that people are not looking at it, but that's why you're building up that portfolio for all those years, okay? It's not just so you can own Apple and McDonald's and all of those things, right? Not making any suggestions, just saying you're not just buying stock to buy stock. There's a reason why you're buying stock, so you should be buying the right stock, okay? You want to do your research and look into that. Another account every single person should have, and I've been screaming this from the mountaintops for the past few years. You should have a whole life insurance policy or an IUL insurance policy. Now, the reason why you want to set up these accounts, setting up the accounts is not the end of the game. You want to have these accounts, but you want to set them up properly. You want to use a max funded policy to accumulate cash in them. You can think of these like another version of a pension, because if you've set up the policies properly with the right insurance agent, not everyone knows how to do this, so please make sure you're asking the right questions and talking to the right people. And if most of you know, there's also a IUL and whole life insurance checklist that I provide for free to whoever wants to download it. You can send me a DM and I can send it to you. Having a properly structured whole life policy set up to be a source of income for you in the future is another way to supplement your retirement. These multiple strategies all work. They all work independently. They are the Avengers when they're all together because all of these things together will give you an insane amount of cash flow if done properly, right? So you have to make sure you set up the accounts. You have to make sure you've done the work in terms of saving the money over the years. And when you've done so, you set them up so that they start to trigger at the same time in the future. And if all those things are done properly, you can live very comfortably in your golden years. Okay. So these are the type of accounts. I hope you took a picture of this so you know what the account types are and what some of the strategies and goals are to utilize them properly. If you want to learn more about the alternative retirement system, that's what this is called. All the accounts put together, the Avengers joining and making sure that you have money every single month to live how you want to live comfortably. It's called the alternative retirement system. Okay. So I go into deep detail one-on-one. I cannot do it on a YouTube video or on a Zoom because I have some restrictions on me because I am licensed, right? I hope you're getting your information from licensed people. There's a lot of people out here with no license telling you all types of information. Buyer beware, caveat emptor. You need to be very careful where you're taking information from. So I am a licensed person, so I cannot give and say certain information without knowing some details from you. That's the reason why I tell everyone to book a call. That's the reason why I tell everyone to reach out to me. I don't want to give you the wrong information. I need to know your situation. We need to talk a little bit because the strategies can be general, but it can be very, very customized. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. So if you're interested in learning more about the alternative retirement system, because the current system is not set up for you to win. The current retirement system will have you stressed out and worrying, are you going to run out of money when you retire? You don't want to be in that boat. You don't want to be having that conversation. So look into the alternative retirement system. Reach out to me to learn some more about it. Reach out to me to talk more and get a customized plan that will work for you. You can also send me a DM on Instagram. ARS will send the trigger to you to get you on the calendar or to get you more information about the alternative retirement system. And if you want, you can go to andretalksgreen.com to book a call with me, and we can talk a little bit about what your goals are, what you're looking to do, and how we can help you. My team is here to support. Like I said, we're not selling anything. We're here to help. We're here to give you the information. If you want to take it to someone else, that's all right with me, as long as you're asking the right questions. And if you don't know the right questions to ask, reach out to me. I have multiple checklists on many different topics, including IULs, including whole life, including retirement. You need to be asking the right questions to qualified individuals. That is the difference. Okay. So I hope you guys found a lot of information, good information in what I just explained to you. And I hope I hear from many of you because I want to help. All right. So family meeting future topics, as I say every single week, we change them up. We're gonna keep rotating them where we talk about a lot of different topics. If this is your first family meeting that you're ever seeing, here are some of the topics that we go over. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about retirement. We're talking about passive income. We're talking about annuity. We're talking about taxes. We're talking about 401ks. We're talking about 529s. We're talking about all things that involve your money, credit cards, everything. So the purpose of the family meeting is that we, as a group, as a collective, are supposed to be having these conversations at home, and we're not. So I hope that this is a supplemental to give you the right answers and the right questions to learn the things that you may not have thought about, you may not have learned before, but this is a community where you can come, you can learn, you can ask, you can educate, you can prosper. Okay. I love this little GIF at the bottom because I'm so excited to talk about money all the time. I can't wait to help you guys. I can't wait to see you in person. I can't wait to be in the chat, be in the community. We're here to learn. We're here to grow together. So whatever you need from me, please feel free to reach out to me. My socials are on everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. We have a YouTube page where we do upload these videos, and I'm also on LinkedIn. So I hope you guys found a lot of value in the things that are presented today. The next family meeting will be on January 25th at 7 p.m. And I can't wait to see you guys and talk to you soon. All right. So for everyone who's on, you can stay on. If you have any questions, we're gonna go over that. I'm just gonna turn off the recording, and we're gonna have a little powwow. Okay. Once again, I want to thank you guys for being here. And the only thing that I ask is that you share this with 3 people. That is the price of admission for me spending this time with you and giving you free information. I strongly believe this quote that is here. It's my quote, okay? We will be the generation of change for our families. A lot of us are in a very unique situation where we have we are working, we're young professionals and we're working, right? We have good full-time jobs. Our parents are retiring. They're at retirement age. They're planning to start exiting the workforce, and they want to make sure they have enough money to live independently on their own after working all of those years. You don't necessarily want them to come back and live with you unless they have to, maybe for health reasons, but they should be able to live off the income that they've saved. And if they haven't done so, we need to figure out and talk about how we can make sure they have enough money to live their life. You are also saving for your own retirement. You're trying to figure out how much money do I need to set aside? How do I not have to worry about it? And some of you have kids, and your kids are either the little itty bitty babies all the way up to teenagers who are either in school right now or getting ready to go to college. Are you planning for their future as well, right? So my cohort and my group of friends and my generation is in a sandwich. We're planning for ourselves, we're trying to take care of our parents, and we're trying to take care of our kids. We got a lot going on, but you don't have to do it alone. So I hope that you found some value in this. I hope to see you on the next family meeting call. I hope you're watching the YouTube videos. I hope you're learning. All right. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm just trying to give back to my community that you guys can learn. If you need me as a resource, I'm here. But I hope that you are very, very prosperous, happy, and healthy. And I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you soon.